Those who pontificate today about how an economy should be run and how they have a better perspective on how an economy must be run. I just thought I would put that into context. So the next time you speak, Howard, you can speak on that and speak on it powerfully as you speak on other things. If you were a bank, if you were an investment house, if you were a securities dealer, if you were in any way minded to do investments, did not have to think up of a new product, a new app. You didn't have to innovate. All you needed to do was to take the little money that you have. And they say invest, but that's not what they were doing. That's not investing precisely. They just lend it to the government. Much of the businesses that we have today that claim to be financial gurus, to be some, wizard of economic innovation and ingenuity. That's what they came out of, including those who pontificate today about how an economy should be run and how they have a better perspective on how an economy must be run. I just thought I would put that into context. So the next time you speak, Howard, you can speak on that and speak on it powerfully as you speak on other things. Jamaica had an inflation rate of 77% in 1 year. 77%. We're quarreling about just after the pandemic, we went up as high as 12, and we're now at about 5, they're about 6, we're hovering somewhere there. 77%. I'm looking at the audience, at the young people there who would have been around in the 1990s, or may not have been born even in 1992, 1993, would know nothing about this. But that is where we're coming from. 77% inflation in 1 year under the government of the people who would want to tell this administration how to manage inflation. Jamaica must focus now on peace and productivity. Those are two critical things. The challenge I face is how to get the public bureaucracy to increase its speed of delivery. That is the greatest challenge that the administration faces now. The country is going through a series of simultaneous transformation in institutions. The public may not see the big picture, the arrangement of the architecture of transformation, because the results have not yet started to come. I am here to tell you that the transformations are becoming entrenched, they are developing pace, and results will come. But when you put that beside 50 years of suffering, people do get frustrated. When you put that beside some people seeming to be benefiting, and I am not benefiting, that leads to a kind of another set of inequity, unfairness, and frustration.
Don't come and tell me that constitutional reform is getting rid of an obnoxious monarch or an awkward king and calling ourselves a different name. That's not what it is. That's a cosmetic change. It's an outward manifestation of something that does not exist inside.
So what I'm here to say, without you saying, is that the current direction that we are going in and the current process that we engaged in with regard to constitutional reform is, we're not going across it like that.
It's inadequate. And it hasn't reached the people. I shouldn't say that. I don't have total consciousness of what the people of Jamaica want. But I suspect that if you go down to Bustamante Children's Hospital and see the hundreds of people in the hallway and ask them how they feel about Jamaica being a republic, you may have to take steps to protect yourself. The Constitution should be an item of curriculum in every school. It should be, to the extent that it needs to be, simplified in language that I can understand.
And the state is moving to address the inadequacies of training in many of its educational institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, in those circumstances, is it not time for the private sector to increase its attention to on-the-job training, to providing more in its budget for training for its employees? Should this not be a priority item in our annual budgets to upskill our very own staff and to improve the working conditions of its human capital, to establish performance-based pay, to incentivize them to stay in our country and to raise our productivity? In the midst of the complaints about high turnover rates of employees and low productivity, companies like Sandals, Knutsford Express, Sagicor, Caramed Group, Spurtree Spices, JMMB, and Grace Kennedy managed to produce consistently good results and keep their people at work. How it is that the National Baking Company manages to maintain much lower percentages of employee turnover and much higher productivity than the national standard? They must be doing something different from the rest of us. I believe that it is because they have recognized the value of human capital, and that human capital is Jamaica's most significant and valuable resource.
The informative information presented in this video is motivational and is positively aimed at inspiring, educating and entertaining the viewers with the cutting edge of critical reasoning. If you enjoy the contents on the Black Radar YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to show your support.